Right, welcome to today's video. I hope you've enjoyed all the previous videos that I've put out. And if you haven't watched any of them yet, I strongly urge you sort of onto my channel, make sure you subscribe and watch the previous videos because I really think they will help you out and I hope they're quite interesting. Today, what we're going to talk about is 5 truths about getting in shape when you're over 30. Now, one of the biggest things before we get to the actual list and why I've put this for over 30s is because getting in shape or getting back into shape when you're over 30, over 40 is a whole different ball game than getting in shape when you're in your teens or your early 20s. Life is completely different for 99.9% of people, so we need to approach it slightly differently. Number 1, I want you to focus on your goal. Now, I would pick 1 or 2 specific goals and focus on that. So if, let's for argument's sake say your goal is to lose 10 kilos of body weight, and we're talking mostly body fat. And then your second goal is you want to run your first 10K. 2 very good goals, and 2 goals that work hand in hand and you can focus on them. So you've got a nutrition goal, or sort of like a nutrition and lifestyle goal with the losing weight. And then we've also got a training and performance goal, which helps to keep you motivated and gives you sort of an end target, an end event that you can get to. So focus on your goal. Don't have about 5 to 10 mini goals that every day you're sort of switching between which one's most important. Don't do that. 1 or 2 clear goals and focus on them. And make sure you are passionate about those goals. Don't pick something that you think either you should be doing or what somebody else tells you should be doing. Because if you're not motivated for it, then when times get hard, and they will, when you've got to resist eating certain foods or overeating, or when you've got to resist not bothering to train, that sort of thing, you need to be passionate and really want to achieve the goals that you've set. And if they're not your goals, you won't, because you're not emotionally invested in it. Number 2, make everything realistic. I'm big on this one when I'm coaching people because my Strong Again program is aimed at helping busy parents and busy professionals who are over 30, who have hectic lives. We need everything to be realistic. Telling you to eat 6 meals a day, prepped like a bodybuilder, and telling you to go to the gym 6 or 7 times per week for 2 hours at a time just isn't realistic. So make sure everything that you put in place, or we if we work together, is realistic and it fits into your schedule and your daily routine. So I'm quite big on simple meals that you can just have the ingredients ready, making them nice and simple. Have a simple meal plan so it takes decision fatigue out. You're not having to scramble around for some culinary masterpiece for every meal. You've got simple, repeatable meals that are healthy and they hit your calories and macros. Training 2 to 4 times per week, and we don't need to do much more than an hour at a time, probably even 40 to 45 minutes. Just keep it intense so we're getting the results that we need. But then in that way, it should slot into your busy life. Don't try and fit too much in that just isn't going to fit into your life, because you won't be able to keep up with it. You'll end up failing, you'll end up feeling guilty, and then probably sack off the whole nutrition and training plan and go back to how you were before, which is where you weren't happy and you weren't healthy. So keep everything realistic. One small thing before we get into number 3. If you haven't gone onto my Instagram page yet, please do. Please go onto my Instagram page, drop me a follow, and if you send me a DM with the word recipe, I will send you a free high protein recipe book, just as a thank you for watching the videos and dropping my page a follow. So make sure you do that. Link for my Instagram is in the description of this video. Okay, back to the list. Number 3, we need to build some sort of accountability. This is where having a coach is invaluable, because you're checking in with that coach, they're checking in with you, And you've got to basically download how your sort of week or 2 weeks have been, and you're much more likely to stick to a plan and stick through the hard times if you know you've got to be accountable to someone. So if, like I say, you are really fancying a binge day or two and you know it's unhealthy food, you know it's not going to help your goals, you are less likely to do it if you've got to tell someone. You just are. I can vouch for this from personal experience, from myself, and from clients that I work with. So if you really don't want a coach, or you can't afford a coach at this time, you can still build a level of accountability for yourself. So I would put in a check-in day for yourself. So maybe every Saturday morning, you're going to weigh yourself, you're going to do updated measurements, you're going to take progress photos, and you're physically going to write down how your previous week went, including things like diet adherence, how your training went, did you eat stuff that was off plan, how was your movement, so how were your steps for the days, like what on average, those sort of things. So if you're physically having to write them down, you're taking the photos, you're taking the measurements, you're weighing yourself, you are adding a level of accountability to yourself. But if you can, have a coach, just because you've got to physically tell that person. And it honestly makes a huge difference that I can't even put into words how much of a difference it does make. Number 4, avoid all or nothing mindsets. This is what a lot of people do, and this is how you get on the yo-yo dieting train. You think, I need to make big change, so you go all in. You pick usually some sort of restrictive diet, like a vegan or low carbohydrate or some sort of fad diet, that you go completely all in and you say, right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to the gym every day and I'm only eating these meals, that sort of thing. And it may last for a couple of weeks, maybe a month if you're very lucky. But when we circle back to make everything realistic, this is not realistic for a busy lifestyle, especially if you have busy work, you have family. This is not realistic. So what we want to do instead is we want to build a realistic plan. So have a realistic meal plan, so just a standard meal plan for your busy days. We want a realistic training plan, like I say, 2 to 4 sessions per week, 45 minutes to an hour at a time. And we need to add flexibility, because if you've got family, if you've got work commitments usually come with maybe going out for drinks with your colleagues, maybe you've got business meetings that food's involved, drinks involved. So you can't completely take yourself out of it, and we don't want to, because this is a change for life. It's not a change for just a 12-week plan. So we need to add a level of flexibility in there. Again, if you're on the Strong Again program, we go into this in like massive depth, so you know how to do this. But we want to do things like calorie banking. So if you know you've got a big meal out with the family or a big social occasion, big works do, and you know that's happening on Friday night. So what we'll do, on Friday, you're going to eat very light and protein heavy meals, sort of low calorie, high protein meals throughout the day. And we're going to try and keep the calories down about 500 from what you would normally have. We will do the same thing on the Thursday. We're going to come in around, depending on what your calorie targets are, obviously if you're only on like 1500 calories, dropping down 500's quite a lot, so we probably do more like 2 to 250. But for most people, take 500 calories from the day before, the day of from the rest of the meals, and the day after we're going to take 500. So what we've done then is we've accumulated 1500 extra calories that we can put towards that social occasion. So you can go out and enjoy yourself. Hopefully don't go too crazy. I mean, like have a few drinks, have your meal, obviously just don't go overboard. But you've basically accounted 1500 calories for that, and that will help to then add the flexibility into the diet whilst being able to get results. Because when you're trying to lose fat and lose weight, it's more about being in a calorie deficit on average over the week and over a long period of time consistently. It's not just individual days. So you can have a day that you're over calories, as long as over the week you are in that calorie deficit that we're looking for, and you will still lose weight, you will still get results. So avoid an all or nothing mindset, because it just doesn't work long term, and you want to keep it realistic. Last one, and this is one that every single person is guilty of not doing, including myself. I am big on not doing this to a negative in my own sort of mental space. Celebrate your wins. Now, what I mean by this is, along the way, it's important to look back and see what you've achieved. The reason I personally struggle with this, so I compete to a national level in strongman. So my goals are always the next competition, you're getting better for the next competition. If you haven't won the competition, then why didn't I win it? What do I need to do better? And it's very difficult when you're in that mindset, and like I say, I struggle big time with this, is actually appreciating how far you've come and like how good you are compared to what you were before and the general population. Because I'm always comparing myself and competing against like top level competitors, I'm always focused on getting closer to them and beating them. I struggle with looking back and actually seeing how far I've come along in my journey. I try and do it better, and it's something I know I need to work on personally. But for yourselves, this is why when we're doing the check-ins, and when either by yourself or with a coach, having like the progress photos, the measurements and the weigh-ins are so important, because you can sometimes get lost in what's happening right this moment. And if, say, from 1 week to the next you haven't lost weight, which is very realistic, because weight loss isn't linear, it is a little bit up and down, a little bit undulated. Sometimes if you haven't lost weight for a week or two, it's easy to get disheartened and think you're not making progress. Whereas if you've got those metrics to then look back to when you started your journey, so say 3 months, 6 months, 12 months before, if you look back from where you are now to where you were then, you should see a massive difference. And it's important to celebrate that. And along the way, when you achieve something new, so let's go back to the goals we sort of talked about at the start. So if you're trying to lose 10K, the end goal is 10 kilograms to lose. But celebrate when you've lost 2 kilograms. Celebrate when you've lost 5. Celebrate when you lost 7. And I don't mean celebrate by going out and completely binge eating. I just mean give yourself a pat on the back and, well done, you've done well, you've committed to something and you're sticking to it and you're achieving it. Because not many people can say that. Not many people set goals and achieve them. The percentage is very, very, very low. So when you are doing that and when you're getting there, it's important to recognize that and give yourself a pat on the back. And when you get to the goal, celebrate it. Again, give yourself props. We are, as a species, for some reason, we are so hard on ourselves. Again, I do it myself, but we are so hard on ourselves that we struggle to see what we've done and how awesome you are. And if you've achieved goals and if you're getting towards where you want to be, even if you set a goal and put a plan in place to get there, that's a big step and you should celebrate that with yourself. But yeah, they are my 5 truths for getting in shape over 30, because we are not teenagers anymore. We are not early 20s. We're not living at home with our parents with all the time in the world, going to school or having a part-time job. If you're over 30, over 40, you've got a lot of responsibilities, you've got little time, and everything needs to slot into your lifestyle to get the results. It's not like when you're younger, so we need to approach it differently. Hopefully that's all helped. Like I say, go onto my Instagram page, drop me a follow, send me a DM with the word recipe. I'll send you a free recipe book. And if you're interested in joining the Strong Again program and having me as your coach and working with me to achieve all of these things, then on Instagram, just drop me a DM and we'll have a little chat through your options and see if we're a good fit and see if the program's right for you. But until next time, have a good time and have a look into those, and I'll speak to you soon.